The Bankruptcy Code does have a definition of disposable monthly income, and it's based on current monthly income. Current monthly income is defined as the 6-month arithmetic average of gross income from all sources for the 6 full calendar months immediately prior to the month you file your bankruptcy petition. So we add it all up, divide by 6, and that 6-month arithmetic average of gross is called current monthly income. To calculate disposable monthly income, from that current monthly income, we subtract the 6-month average of the taxes and Social Security you were supposed to have paid over that same 6-month period. Then we subtract living expenses, but in the definition, not your real life living expenses. Instead, we subtract out the IRS standard living expenses for a family of your size. It's based on the IRS standard family they have encased in plastic in Washington, D.C. The poor creatures suffocated. In any event, and then any additional expenses you may have not envisioned in the IRS standard expenses can be tossed in as well, such things as a car payment, or you're buying health insurance or term life insurance, or you have an obligation to pay child support or alimony. So what's left over is disposable monthly income. Now you'll notice the window is a 6-month window. So presumably the irregular income gets smoothed out if you have a long enough period of time. A typical example is a school teacher. School teachers frequently do not work during the summer. That's not a blanket statement. Some do, but some have the summer off, and so they're not paid for that summer. So that is irregular income. In that situation, we're going to have to convince the Chapter 13 trustee that all is well after all. One way to address this is with what's called a summer saver account. And this is fairly common among school teachers, at least in this part of the country. A school teacher might be paid 10 months out of the year. So each check then for each of those 10 months has money that you could put into a summer saver account so that when it comes time for summer, you have money set aside for your living expenses. That's outside of bankruptcy. Well, inside the Chapter 13, you would have a little bit more being set aside into that summer saver account so that you would have money not only to cover your reasonable living expenses, but also to make Chapter 13 plan payments. So is that fitting within that definition of disposable monthly income? Perhaps not. It is looking at a longer time window, a 12-month window, as opposed to a 6-month window. There is another place in the bankruptcy petition where we list income and expenses. There we list income presently, not a 6-month average, and real life living expenses, not IRS standard expenses. Take the difference and we get another candidate for disposable monthly income. Sometimes there's a little back and forth between the debtor and the Chapter 13 trustee on what will constitute current monthly income, but that summer saver account can help. Another approach is in the Chapter 13 plan, you can specify changes in the payments month by month. This sometimes happens, for example, if a debtor has a car payment that's going to be completed. The car will be paid off, let's say, 2 years into the plan. So the money that was being used to make that car payment is now freed up, and then there will be a step up in the Chapter 13 plan because of the availability of that additional income. It can get a little bit more complicated, but let's say you have a seasonal job, not necessarily amenable to the summer saver account concept, where you might in the plan say for months 1 through 3, this will be the plan payment, and months 4 through 6, it'd be a different plan payment. Months 7 to 10, a different plan payment that can make provision for the fluctuations in the income. A little bit of creativity in this and a good working relationship with the Chapter 13 trustee assigned to the case can typically make this work out. So this is one of those on a month-by-month or a case-by-case basis, I should say, depending on the facts of the case.